Today's project is in my garage. I've got a main beam that runs and it supports all the roof rafters run across the attic. Over the years I've started using the attic for storage, so I have a ladder that I can get up in there. What's really wrong with it is the beam hanger comes up and it just sits on top of this 2x4, so all the load from this whole section, this whole unsupported span, which is like 14 feet, runs over here and it hangs on this bracket, but that bracket is then just connected to this 2x4, which is face nailed. And I've always planned on addressing this problem with a bracket that's correct for this situation. And I just looked online and they're like anywhere between $180 and $280 for a bracket. So I've got a pile of steel and a welding machine, so I'm gonna build my own bracket today. It'll do the same thing this bracket does, but it'll fit the beam properly. It's gonna bend sooner so that it will land on the structure and the weight of it. I'm also gonna have a flange that goes this way so I can screw it into the header here and into the top plate and transfer the load out more. So it's just not dangling on 6 5.5 nails, because they never finished nailing this one in. I have no idea how this got signed off originally when the house was built. It's totally not correct. I got this piece of 3/16 inch. It was cold rolled sheet. It's been sitting outside for quite a while. This is all surface rust. This is still really good steel. So this piece is about 12 inches wide, so I'm going to use the whole 12-inch width. 6 inches is going to mark center line. So that's basically the center line of that. So I need to split the difference on that either way. So I need 2 inches for that, and then I need 4 inches for the height, and then I need some for the bend, and I need overhangs is 9. So that will be the material that bends over, and then there'll be 2 inches down below. That's a bend line. All of this is a cut. This is a homemade bender that I have. It just runs on a 4-ton bottle jack. So see if it will bend this plate or not. It just has to get past that hard spot. So that's a 1/4-inch plate. Bend it pretty well. So that bracket will sit up on that top beam just like that. It'll wrap around. So one of the things is I've got to be able to install this. So that was the other thing with some of the brackets you can purchase. I can't install them in something that's already made. So the next part is to take that other strap of metal that I cut, bend it, and it will create the pocket. And then we got to drill a bunch of holes and finish cleaning this material up. Steel beam is going to be used to jack up this, or the beam, while that bracket's changed out. So here's a moment of truth. The structural connection is made. It's got 7 structural screws in it. Stronger than lag bolts, the brand that I'm using. They're high tensile strength structural screws, but they're really like a lag bolt. And that beam has got a flange over the top of it now. So this cheap bracket is finally down. I shouldn't call it a cheap bracket because it really is. It's probably a decent enough bracket, but the way they installed it here was just absurd. You know, it's got one bolt here, or one hole here, one hole here, and then 2 in the top. So this is the piece of 2x4 that it was hanging off of. So this 2x4 was face nailed into the studs with, you know, these are full-size structural framing nails. They're probably 3.5-inch full diameter structural framing nails, but one of them wasn't put in all the way. The board is already cracked, on both sides. There's no real protection from this board getting pulled off. The other problem is when they installed this, it's like somebody came up and tacked it in place. Like, hey, this is where we're gonna put the bracket, but then never came and finish nailed it, or they couldn't because this board just isn't wide enough. This bracket isn't made for this application. And then when they face nailed it, they used like sinkers. So I'm glad that this thing is out and gone, and that I have this new heavy-duty structural bracket up top. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little weekend project. I've been meaning to do that for a while. I first noticed that when I originally bought my house 3 years ago. I was unpacking my machine shop tools and I put a chain fall on that beam, and I was just checking it out, like, okay, I'm gonna put a chain fall on here, how much can this beam actually hold? And I saw that connection and it's worried me ever since. So finally I've taken care of it. 3.5 years. I don't have to worry about how much weight I can put up there anymore. That connection is super strong. So thanks for watching the video, and stay tuned. I've got some more stuff coming out. I've been working on this restoration on this old cast iron stove, so that's coming out soon.